Okay, so everybody's talking about the Karmelo Anthony story, and we're not talking about the basketball player. We're absolutely talking about the young student that unfortunately was involved in the incident where one student was unalived. Now, here's the thing: the media is always trying to paint out the black student as, you know, the aggressor and all the things. And of course, they're showing his mugshot where they're showing the other one's school picture and making him to be like, you know, he was just some sweet boy. That is not what happened. Here's the thing: Karmelo was a 4.0 student. He was a captain on his football team. He was also a track athlete, so he had reason to be where he was at the day of the incident. Those young men that unfortunately one of them lost their life, they were not supposed to be there. Now, yes, can you go to track meets and, you know, support those that are running and those who are in field events? Absolutely. And if you've ever been to a track meet or whatever, especially the high school capacity, you know that those tents, children are running back and forth because they have friends or associates or whatever, or teammates from other AAU teams or whatever underneath those other tents. That tent did not belong to those twins. So therefore, them trying to throw Karmelo's belongings and stomp his phone, ultimately breaking it, which again, they're not talking about. This absolutely was a deciding factor in what happened. Now, here's the thing: them trying to say, oh, they didn't know each other, he just randomly did this. No, they had allegedly been harassing Karmelo's girlfriend. And that's something they don't want to talk about, where a lot of this had a lot of racial slurs. And I'm talking hard ER. So, yeah, that little model, I'm, you know, cute in my school picture? Absolutely not. Now, again, it is unfortunate that a young man lost his life, but where were the parents? Where were the teachers when y'all heard this escalating? And I can tell you like this: I guarantee you that the people that were supposed to be there were like, "Oh, I had my back turned," or "Oh, I had this," or whatever. High school students are not exempt that need supervision. And the fact of the matter is, somebody should have been there. That tent did not belong to them, it belonged to the school. So, therefore, again, Austin and his brother had no reason to try to throw Karmelo's stuff or try to push him to the ground and try to jump him. So, here's the thing: again, we're not going to negate the fact that one of these people lost their life. However, if someone who is 200 pounds plus is coming at you twice because it was two of them, what are you going to do? Because it's no longer a fight. And here's the thing: if it's a fight, when has fights become fair? Never in the history. You need to understand something. And I, you know, in these comments and stuff, like I said, you know, when stuff like this happens, people love to come talk to me. But it's real interesting how so many people in the comments were trying to, you know, say, oh, well, you know, he shouldn't have been out there. Yes, he should not have been at a school sanctioned event with a weapon. However, if you have not set foot in these schools these days, and I don't care if it's the rich of the rich or the poorest of the poor, because you had somebody in there, well, I went to a ghetto high school. Nobody's ghetto but you. Um, Here's the thing: this was an affluent area. However, they're still not absolved from violence. They're still not absolved from crime happening. And they're damn sure not absolved from bullying happening. And bullying happens a lot, especially when you have certain students who have certain parents that districts don't want to deal with. And that seemingly is the issue when it comes to Austin and his brother, because from what students are saying, they were known bullies. So this is, you know, this is not surprising. The only surprising thing is, like I said, why did a child have to lose their life when a teacher, a parent, or somebody could have intervened? But y'all saw them picking on this little black boy. And then you're going to, you know, post pictures of Karmelo with his airsoft gun, because it was an airsoft gun. But you're not going to post the pictures of them with not airsoft guns. Very interesting. And again, you're not going to talk about how they stumped his phone, how they used the hard ER, how they absolutely had interaction before all of this happened. So, again, we will not negate the fact that unfortunately a child lost their life, but we are not going to make it seem like that this is some hardcore criminal when he was not. So, y'all, we have to do our due diligence to keep sharing the good photos of Karmelo so that they can see that he is not some, you know, hardened thug that just came up there ready to stab somebody. He was there at a track meet because he's a track athlete. Those two were there to start the trouble that they started, and unfortunately, one of them paid the ultimate price.